Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another Square video. So yesterday night, Sunday night, Jack Dorsey dropped a bomb on Square's shareholders because they released their earnings report a couple of days early and they announced that they're going to acquire Australian buy now, pay later company Afterpay for around $29 billion. Now, if you just want to know that, little correction here, they missed on revenue but beat on earnings per share, then this is the video for you. But if you want, you can hit that like button. But if you want to hear more about the earnings report and a bit more about the Afterpay acquisition, then sit down and relax. So I'm first going to go over the acquisition real quick, and then we're going to jump into the earnings report. Alright, so Square announced yesterday the plans to acquire Afterpay, strengthening and enabling further integration between its seller and the Cash App ecosystem. For those that don't know, Afterpay is a buy now, pay later company based in Australia. The transaction has an implied value of approximately $29 billion or 39 billion Australian dollars based on the closing price of Square common stock on July 30, 2021, and is expected to be paid in all stock. The closing of the transaction is expected in the first quarter calendar year 2022. Now, the main goal here, actually Square's main goal since the start, is to better connect the seller side to the Cash App side. And this again adds another value, another product to all of that ecosystem. Now, Afterpay serves more than 16 million customers and nearly 100,000 merchants globally, including major retailers across key verticals such as fashion, homewares, beauty, sporting goods, and more. Now, why is this so important and why do I actually like this deal? Well, because Afterpay has, again, a global presence, something that Square doesn't necessarily have. We've talked about that in previous videos. I've been very critical about Square's international growth, and this deal will actually help Square grow into international markets through that buy now, pay later product. They can then offer their POS systems, the whole seller ecosystem, then integrate Cash App. So this is a great way to grow internationally. Obviously, it comes at a hefty price. They're paying 40% actually premium on the actual valuation of Afterpay today. But Afterpay was planning on going public earlier this year in the US market and was valued at $29 billion. So maybe they didn't really overpay that much. Now I'm going to make a separate video about Afterpay and Square and what that could mean for the future, more in depth, because I didn't really have a look at Afterpay's financial. So I'm going to make a separate video about that. Will be coming in the coming days. Now, before I continue and go into the earnings, I just want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. And again, these are my views and my views only. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me find the latest growth stock and innovative company. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services, the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool's stock advisor service, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock advisors' average stock picks have returned over 500%. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more this year, you can visit www.fool.com/couchinvestor or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if Stock Advisor is right for you. Alright, so as always, great front page, great design. I love that about Square shareholders letters. So let's jump into the numbers. Gross profit is up 91% year over year to 1.14 billion. Adjusted EBITDA at 360 million. Quite nice bump quarter over quarter. Now look at this. Cash App gross profit up 94% year over year to $546 million. Now, there is here a new metric just for this year, I believe, the 2-year compound annual growth rate at 128%. The seller side as well has grown 85% year over year to $585 million. Both the seller and Cash App gross profit have gone up nicely quarter over quarter as well. Net income is at $204 million, neither bump from Q1, but we will see what those numbers actually mean in a bit. For Cash App, they've reached a record of 40 million monthly transacting active users. So that's great. The app is still growing. And with Afterpay, I expect that to actually grow even more further down the line. Now, remember what I said at the very first couple of videos that I made about Square. I said it's all about making people put more and more money into Cash App, spend more and more money in that Square ecosystem. and that's exactly what's been happening. The growth in inflows has continued to be a primary driver of Cash App gross profit growth. In the second quarter, gross profit per monthly transacting active users was $55. Now that number might be small, but it's up 2.5% from 2 years ago, not from 1 year ago because that was peak pandemic. They take that number from 2 years ago. So that's great to see. All right, the seller ecosystem, probably my favorite part of the whole business. As we can see here, seller GPV, gross payment volume, mixed by seller size. It has significantly grown year over year, but I'll show you a comparison to last quarter. You will see that it has even grown quarter over quarter quite nicely, with especially those bigger segments here at over 500K. The usual suspects here, the total net revenue was $4.68 billion. The estimates were, I think, 4.98 or 99, so there's a miss on that. It's up 143% year over year. But again, excluding Bitcoin, total net revenue in the second quarter was 1.96 billion, up 87% year over year. Now, I don't know if you can see this here on the side, but I will try and put it up as a bigger picture. So during the second quarter of 2021, we saw significant growth in Bitcoin revenue year over year. While Bitcoin revenue was 2.72 billion in the second quarter, up approximately 3 times year over year, Bitcoin gross profit was only $55 million, or approximately 2% of Bitcoin revenue. Now, if you want to compare that to last quarter, that was 3.51 billion in Bitcoin revenue, $75 million in gross profit, and again, same thing, approximately 2% of Bitcoin revenue. So as you can see, quarter over quarter, Bitcoin's revenue and gross profit has been down a little bit, but that's also because, well, the price of Bitcoin was slashed in half, basically. Remember when I said we're going to go back to the net income? So it's very high because of this. They recognized the gain of $77 million driven primarily by the sale of their remaining investment in DoorDash. Net income was $173 million when excluding the $77 million gain on their equity investment and the $45 million loss related to the impairment of their Bitcoin investment. Because as you know, just like with Tesla, when you have Bitcoin, if it just goes for a minute on the negative side, they have to report that. And they ended the quarter with $7.1 billion in available liquidity and $6.6 billion in cash equivalents, etc. And last thing before we conclude this video is Square Loans, formerly known as Square Capital. So this also received strong gross profit growth during the second quarter. It facilitated approximately 105,000 loans, totaling $778 million in originations. PPP loans totaled $151 million, so that PPP loan obviously will not keep on happening. But the Flex loans totaled $627 million across more than 89,000 loans. Now, I've talked about Square Capital and Square becoming the next bank in a couple of videos, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm just very happy to see the progress that has been made here. Obviously, with the acquisition of Afterpay, this is certainly something that can add value to that side as well. Now, to conclude, I'm very happy with this quarter, very happy with the acquisition. Yes, I know as shareholders, we might not like to get diluted, but what can we do? It's, in my opinion, a great way to expand their business globally. And yes, they might be paying right now a 40% premium, but Afterpay was planning on going public in the United States at the same valuation. So I think for me, it's the correct price and it's the right price to grow worldwide, something that Square really needed. Now, I would like to know what you think about this earnings report. Leave it down in the comments below. And if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter as well at Couch Investor. If you want to interact more with me, if you want to join some spaces, you can do that on Twitter. And as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.